Well, I spent about 2 hours this morning doing some troubleshooting. Uh, I feel like the Dragon Link is pretty straightforward stuff. Some things. I've turned off all sources of Wi-Fi in my house for this test. So you see, there's no other things in this list. Not even neighbors' Wi-Fi's because I live in the middle of like 10 acres. There's no Wi-Fi's nearby. So basically, in 2 hours today, I've found that exactly what I suspected was true. Um, the Dragon Link Wi-Fi module will not stay connected to my workstation or 3 other workstations in the room, where all of those 4 workstations will connect with other devices with no runs, no hits, no errors. They don't disconnect. Oh, 192.168.1.1 non-transportable address. Always check. Oops. Not there, is it? Oh, hush, radio. Yep, disconnected. And no, it wasn't because the radio hit a 10-minute inactivity alarm while connected to the workstation or and platform. Okay. Man, isn't that something? It still thinks it's connected. This happens a lot. Only with this Dragon Link transmitter. I'm going to disconnect. I'm going to cycle the radio.
Welcome to OpenTX. Disarm fly-by-wire A manual.
Sorry about all the noise. The platform wanted to go wild across the bench because I turned off the radio. You know the drill. This has happened this way. In general, I do get a connection. I can at least start to get a link, and then the connection drops. But I've been here before. Bing. Okay. We'll just leave that there. We'll go and get a connection to Mission Planner. Got pretty good link quality down here. It'll have to hit 100. Oops. Did we already drop? I think we may have. Refresh. Yep. We've already dropped link with the Dragon Link transmitter. So just for kicks and grins, I'm going to shut down the airplane this time because I actually do have full 16.8 volts on it and a prop on it. So I shouldn't be turning off the radio with it across the room. It may just decide to return to home someplace. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. I'm going to shut off the airplane this time. Then I'm going to shut off the radio. I'm going to recycle my workstation. I'm going to come back. Okay, I'm back with a nice fresh restart on everything. Let's go at it again. See, my heart's not in this anymore. Again, there are no sources of Wi-Fi other than the Dragon Link. And my workstation, of course. My wife's not home, so I can turn off the main house. Shut down every Wi-Fi device in it easily. Hard to do when she's home. Okay. I always test all of my connections this way. Boom, we there. How can we get some data transfer this time? I don't find it to be that complex. Darn it! No, I had better luck earlier this morning. Oops. There we go. 40% link quality. Getting perimeters 100%. Cool. Oops. Now we're at 0 down here again. Been here many times. We'll go back out and look real quick. Do a refresh here. Our connection has dropped. This is what I suspected. Just thinking back on months and hundreds of hours of work, this is what it all boiled down to. I got the second transmitter. It did work. It actually worked better this morning. So there. But now see if we go over to Windows. It still thinks everything's still connected and really copacetic. No, it's not. We'll disconnect again. Reconnect for kicks and grins. I didn't cycle anything this time. That's probably not the best technical idea. Something has to be a little gummed up in either I'd like to say the transmitter or the workstation. Not really. I guess the airplane can't do much about it. It's just sending data to the radio. If the radio can't stay connected to the Wi-Fi, see, yeah. Don't worry about my Norton. It's not doing it, honest. So see, this is the kind of things that's been going on for me the whole time. I'm going to disconnect. I'm going to cycle the radio. It really...
Welcome to OpenTX. Disarm Wi-Fi wire A manual mode.
It really isn't usually this much trouble. It wasn't this morning when I made videos, which I ended up deleting, or I would pull them back out. I'm getting into my 3rd hour today of messing with this junk. And that's the biggest thing. I don't have the heart for messing with it anymore. I had hoped I could just put it back on the original firmware, hook up the USB cable to it, and run that way. There we go. So now we're connected again. We'll try to connect here again. We've got a little link quality down here. Hit 100, getting parameters. Come on, pull them in, pull them in. Yeah! Faster than Crossfire, wasn't it? It's staying at 89%. It's working perfectly, isn't it? I've had a lot of this with the second transmitter, not with the first one, but you can see the link quality is dropping. I'm going to set up a timer right now, and I'm going to go away. Because it's going to drop the Wi-Fi connection. I'm 100% sure. So I'll start a timer. I'm going to go about stopwatch start. I'm going to set it down right here. I'm going to go about my business around the room, and when it drops, I'm kind of stalling here because I think it'll drop real quick. It'll drop connection with the Wi-Fi. That link quality right here will go to 0, and we'll go back out into here. And when you try to refresh this or connect with it again, I just refreshed it. It refreshed perfectly. It won't. The connection will be dropped. I did it for 2 hours this morning. Didn't have as much trouble connecting to the Wi-Fi this morning, and got in, read the parameters pretty good. It seemed pretty good, but none of the connections ran more than 5 to 7 minutes. But I'm going to go do something else. Like I say, I'm just really getting tired of spending any time. My intention was to back up to the original firmware, put a USB cable in the transmitter, and start flying it that way. And if I had problems, I might try to push it up to the next version of the firmware to correct some of those, which I'm told it does. But I'm not sure that second firmware works with that USB cable the way the first version of the firmware does. And I just really didn't have the heart to go in and do all that in experimentation. I'll be back. And I'm back. You can see here link quality has dropped to 0. The connection has disconnected up here. It was 21 minutes and 40 something seconds when I came back downstairs. It's kind of boring around here. I can't even check email or messages on my cell phone without some kind of Wi-Fi running in the house. And if we come out here, I feel confident. We're going to refresh this. Look at that. It's not refreshing. The Wi-Fi has disconnected again. And this, I don't know. I just know I came back down about 20 minutes into with it sitting here. Which was, if it quit just before I came back down, that's the longest time it's ever run. Usually it goes 5 or 6 minutes. There we go. So it's not a setup problem. It's not a understanding. It's a hardware problem. And see, this still shows it's connected and has an IP address. No. There's none of that going on, honest. None. None of that going on at all. You see, you can't get to that IP address now. That's the problem. And again, I could go back, put the first, I know it'll work with the USB cable with the first version of the firmware because I've done it. It works perfectly. It goes hours and hours, no hiccups at all. The first transmitter would do that with the USB cable. The second transmitter works as you've kind of seen it here. It's a little bit flaky getting connected a lot. Frequently drops Wi-Fi connection. If you get a connection, I just had, I'm going to call it 15 minutes. 15 minutes of a perfect connection. There's nothing wrong with my wiring. There's nothing wrong with the receivers, in my humble opinion. I don't see anything in the receivers, 4 of them to be exact, that would make the Wi-Fi drop intermittently. I just don't really have the heart to chase it anymore. I wished it worked. I don't know what else to say. Here, it is what time now? How much have I spent on this again today? It's approaching 3 hours again today at this point. It's just real frustrated with it. So you guys tell me, am I all wet? Is it not a hardware problem? This computer and 3 other computers, I can hook any Wi-Fi device to them I want, and it doesn't have a problem. Well, you know, they all have a problem every now and then, but basically they're 100% until I tell them to disconnect. I don't know what else to say. Thank you, guys.